for checking in.
The Challenges on MTV,
Yep.
yes? Is there a difference that you've noticed throughout the years of being on an episodic show on TV versus doing a streaming show? Are they shot different?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, production's completely different. For example, the challenge is 10 weeks long, 8 to 10 weeks long, filming 24 hours a day.
Where you are secluded with the cast?
Yes,
Okay.
you're in a, mansion, villa, bunker.
Can you have your phones?
No. Complete isolation from the outside world.
Okay.
Last season that we did, this was in Vietnam, the one that's actually airing right now. She's season 40. We got 2 pieces of news while we were in the entire time we were there. We got 2 news updates. One was Diddy was going to jail for human trafficking, and the other one was Kendrick Lamar and Drake were beefing and having a rap battle.
Oh yeah.
That was it. I got home, and like 2 weeks after I was home, I went to I went out for sushi with this girl, and we started talking. And I mentioned something about O.J. Simpson. She's like, "Yeah, he died," and I was like, "What?" She's, "Yeah, he died like a month ago." No idea. No, 2 weeks out, had no idea O.J. Simpson died. But in a weird way, especially in this day and age with so much technology and social media, and you're just glued to your phone all the time, that 8 to 10 week device detox is so nice.
Yeah, and you must make amazing friendships.
You talk to people, you get to know people. It's amazing how as soon as these devices are pried from our clutches, how much we revert back to just being human beings.
Right.
And ask questions, tell stories. We get so creative. We're playing games. And now, mind you, a lot of that is just done out of, necessity because there's nothing else to do.
Sure.
But the fact that we're able to revert back to that, and people that I've been on a challenge with for 10 weeks, I know more about and I've experienced more with and I've connected closer with people I've known for 10 years.
Yeah, of course.
Because of that amount of time that you spend together. And as hard as it is sometimes being away from your phone, it's so nice to like have that mental escape.
Are you close with a lot of people that you've done shows with, or are you a very private person that once you leave, you're kind of gone?
So both. So obviously I have friends from this show and you grow so close to people because of, what you experience here. Like, they call it trauma bonding.
Yeah.
But I also like to keep my real life and my reality life separate.
Okay.
I think that's one of the things that's allowed me to have just the mental, escape that I have is I'm not clocked into reality television 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's because I draw a very hard line between my real friends, my real life, and my reality TV life. Now, there is a bleed over, right? But I do as much as I can to keep that to a minimum. Also, I do it again just for the game. The more people that you're friends with outside that you have to film with, the more people you're potentially going to have to burn at one point or another. So the bigger group of friends you go into a challenge with, at one point or another, you're going to have to, burn a bridge. You're going to have to, so I've just never wanted to do that. So I keep my circle very small. And I've been burned by so many people so many times on this show.
But then do they turn around and later say off camera, "Oh, it was just for the show, forgive me," or are you guys just?
Yeah, but it's almost one of those things once it's done. And here's the thing: I don't take my work home with me, right? It doesn't matter what happens on the screen once it's over. Outside of the game, like let bygones be bygones.
Sure.
But once we go back and you're back into that environment,
those feelings come back.
There is a carryover effect.
Do you think that choosing reality TV as a career has prevented you from doing something? I mean, it sounds like you travel all the time. I'm assuming you can't have a dog.
Yeah.
You can't have a girlfriend unless she's on the show with you. Those kind of things. What do you feel like you've missed out most on?
All of that. I mean, but I think that's what life is all about. I was an econ major, so there's opportunity cost and opportunity benefit. And I remember the first time we learned about that, it was leisure versus income. So if you put that on a chart, if you put leisure and income on a chart, the more income you have, the less leisure you're going to have, the less free time you're going to have, and vice versa. Right. The more leisure you have, the less income you're going to have. The more you travel, the more you're out there, the less you're going to work. But I've somehow found a flaw in the matrix where I've managed to find a way to totally just erase that chart and make my own, where I found a way to have leisure and income at the same time. So how about that, Professor Dirk Mateer? But what, again, I think the opportunity cost that has come with that is the fact that I haven't been able to, I guess, get serious about life when it comes to, as it relates to family, relationship, stability. I have as much stability as I can in my life, with as chaotic as my life is. Again, I travel all the time.
Yeah.
I was just in Amsterdam 2 weeks ago filming. I leave. I've got to fly back to California this week to film a cooking show. I'm potentially leaving in February for a show, and then I'm going to be leaving in May for another show. But it's that freedom and that ability for me to have the ability to do that has allowed me to be where I'm at right now. And this is what I say. I look at other guys on my show, guys and girls on my show and in other shows. And the majority of them, almost all of them, who have stepped away and have started families and have gotten married, or gotten real jobs, good for them. I'm all about it. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But what's happened then is their ability to stay relevant and their ability to keep growing in this industry has suffered.
And sometimes even make the income that they used to.
Yeah.
Which makes them suffer.
And everyone's like, dude, how have you managed to stay on and stay relevant for as long as you have? And that's what I've had to do. That's the sacrifice that I've had to make in order to do that.
Right. You just mentioned a couple projects that you have coming up. I'm curious for people that are listening and want to get into this. Do you have a really good manager, or are you just someone who's that relevant that the opportunities are coming to you directly?
Had a manager, really bad falling out. This is what I'm saying. I've been burned by those closest to me.
Yeah.
And that just happened pretty recently. I found out there was a lot of, mishandling of funds and embezzlement going on, that sort of thing. So I have a pretty solid team around me now. But over the years, what I think I've learned from this is the only person at the end of the day that's going to protect me and look out for me is me.
Right.
So again, I'm very guarded with those that I let close to me. But I have managed to stay in the public eye for so long that I've got opportunities. The majority of the opportunities that I have now are people coming and basically pitching me for shows or for projects, that sort of thing. I'm in talks right now with the production company about doing a docuseries on my life here in South Florida, and just all the shenanigans that, I get into, whether it's my gym, my travel. And that opportunity, I was approached. It's a huge production company too. And that's kind of the evolution that I want to make. As much as I love going on TV and being a cast member, at some point I'm going to have to, kind of take the reins and be all right, now instead of just being a piece of the puzzle, I want to be the entire puzzle.
Sure.
So that's kind of the next step. But, and I think another reason that's happened is because I've been on MTV for so long.
Yeah.
That people that when I first started were PAs, executive assistants, that sort of thing. They've now risen up in the ranks as well. They're now EPing shows.
Right.
They're now in charge of projects, that sort of thing. And they've known me this entire time. So now there's a lot of people out there in the industry that have come up with me that now are decision makers, and they're able to kind of plug me into different projects. But again, that's all about making and nurturing relationships.
Sure.
And that's what I've done. Every person that I meet, especially in the entertainment industry, doesn't matter what level they're at. One of the cameramen for my original season of The Real World was the executive producer of became the executive producer of Dancing with the Stars. Wow. So you never know where people are gonna make it in life.